Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. You know, I always make this observation: it seems as though leftoids have no ability to learn from previous mistakes or from previous experiences. They just keep going and doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. And so the question that I'm asking is, when are they going to learn that Ron DeSantis is not to be trifled with? Now, I know the Republican Party has become fractured a little bit. There's the DeSantis side and the Trump side, and then there's the Nikki Haley side.
You serious?
If you could even really call it a side. But anyways, the two main factions, Ron DeSantis, Donald Trump. I personally don't like to feed too much into that narrative. I think they're both great in any effort to fracture the Republican base. I think, Republicans probably shouldn't be feeding into. But at the end of the day, regardless of what side you're on, I think you should be intellectually honest enough to at least admit that Ron DeSantis don't play, and that every single time the left tries to tango with him, every single time they try to play ball, they end up flat-footed with broken ankles on their behind. And boy, oh boy, is that happening again as Ron DeSantis is taking them all to task, collecting win after win. We'll get into the wins later. First, I want to start off with Ron DeSantis' new challenger, Kamala Harris, who went after Ron DeSantis on the Stephen Colbert podcast. I have a feeling this one's probably going to end as a massive W for Ron DeSantis in the end anyways. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so take a look at this. Haughty Kamala Harris wags her finger as she lectures Ron DeSantis on Ukraine.
What do you make of someone like Governor DeSantis, who, while there is a strain of isolationism all throughout American history, is saying that this is not in America's strategic interest to side with the Ukrainians and offer them the material aid they need to defend themselves against an invading power?
So, as vice president, I have now met with over 100 world leaders. Presidents, prime ministers, chancellors, and kings. And when you have had the experience of meeting and understanding the significance, again, of international rules and norms and the importance of the United States of America standing firm and clear about the significance of sovereignty and territorial integrity, the significance of standing firm against any nation that would try to take by force another nation, if you really understand the issues, you probably would not make statements like that.
Now, let's start off with the obvious. Is Kamala Harris really somebody who should be lecturing anybody about anything, especially something as complex as territorial disputes, history, foreign policy, geopolitics, whatever it is? The last time Kamala Harris tried explaining the war in Ukraine, well, let's just say it was beyond cringy.
So, Ukraine is a country in Europe. It exists next to another country called Russia. Russia is a bigger country. Russia is a powerful country. Russia decided to invade a smaller country called Ukraine. So basically, that's wrong.
Kamala Harris can't explain any concept without reducing it to some infantile, totally reduced, oversimplified, black and white surface definition. Governor Ron DeSantis just doesn't understand what's really going on. I, however, Kamala Harris, failed prosecutor from California, am a geopolitics expert. Give me a frickin' break. First off, you can't even compare the credentials. Kamala Harris is a very low competency affirmative action hire. I mean, let's be very honest, that's probably the best way to describe her entire career, both academic and post-academic. While Ron DeSantis graduated from Yale University and Harvard Law School and joined the United States Navy in 2004, where he was promoted to lieutenant before serving as a legal advisor to SEAL Team 1. He was stationed at Joint Task Force Guantanamo in 2006 and deployed to Iraq in 2007. Ron DeSantis not only attended some of the most prestigious universities in the world, but he also has experience in military service. But Kamala Harris is trying to make the point that he's not qualified and he doesn't understand just how deep and complex it really is. Yeah, excuse me, but that's bullshit. globalist propaganda. They want you to think that it's really complex and that there's this great threat to humankind and Western civilization. Like I always say, they're trying to equate Vladimir Putin to that certain small mustache leader from 1940s Germany, but it's really a total bogus narrative. Russia isn't hell-bent on world domination. Russia's trying to get the band back together. They want some of the territory that they lost after the Soviet Union collapse, and what seems feasible to them is Donetsk and Crimea, specifically because those two regions identify as Russian and want to be absorbed. They want to secede, joining back with Russia. It's a simple border dispute. They just want the border to be pushed out a little bit. That's not Russian propaganda. That's literally what this whole thing boils down to. And this idea that it's just so complex and Ron DeSantis isn't educated enough to understand. Kamala Harris, the deeply knowledgeable and intellectual Kamala Harris.
Which is why we will work together and continue to work together to address these issues, to tackle these challenges, and to work together as we continue to work that we will convene to work together on. This is a matter of urgent priority for all of us, and I know we will work on this together.
I understand foreign policy and have been leading with various world leaders. Shut up. I mean, stop. We're not stupid. We know who you are. We know your level of competency. We know your academic and career background. You know nothing about foreign policy. You've spent 2 years. You've been a total, utter failure across the board for the Biden administration. And you mean to tell us that now all of a sudden you're an expert thanks to the last 2 years of experience? Please sit down. Or as my dad would say when I was growing up, "Cazzicato." We're gonna move on from this Kamala Harris thing. I'm just gonna finish that segment of the video with one thing. I have a feeling, like usual, Ron DeSantis is probably gonna address Kamala Harris's most recent statements at a press conference, and boy, it's probably gonna be a glorious takedown. I'm preemptively putting this one as a W in the Ron DeSantis column. Let's move on to the second Ron DeSantis W of the week. Big Florida Ron continues with his winning streak against the media. The Florida governor's office reaching out to Axios with a press release. In case you missed it, from the office of Governor Ron DeSantis. Governor Ron DeSantis hosts a roundtable exposing the diversity, equity, and inclusion scam in higher education. Axios reporter Ben Montgomery then responds, "This is propaganda, not a press release." Yeah, probably not the response that you want to be giving, representing Axios as a supposed journalist. Let's just say it didn't end too well for this journalist. News update from just the other day. Axios reporter fired after calling DeSantis press release, quote, propaganda. We'll pretty much end that story right over there. Let's just say Ben Montgomery effed around and found out. And the latest massive W for Florida Governor Ron DeSantis administration revokes alcohol license of venue over, I gotta find the right words here, inappropriate, adult, explicit drag queen Christmas with children. The administration of Republican Florida Governor Ron DeSantis punished a venue for hosting an adult, explicit performance of a drag queen Christmas in front of children. Numerous venues were warned against allowing minors at adult-themed explicit shows by Florida officials in December. On Tuesday, officials said the Hyatt Regency Miami had violated the order over the drag show Christmas performance at the James L. Knight Center. Now, I probably shouldn't read the details that describe some of these performances. I could probably post them up on the screen and maybe filter a couple words. Welcome to freaking clown world, where us adults talking about politics and the importance of childhood innocence have to self-censor when reporting the basic facts of what's going on in the world. But anyways, I mean, clown world aside, let's just say it's something that should make your stomach turn, and no child, and the craziest part is no parent with their child's well-being should ever expose their children to this. Children should not be exposed to these kinds of acts at such a young age, and good on Ron DeSantis. He said he was gonna do it. He laid it out very clearly that if you allow children into these types of events, your liquor license will be revoked, and boom, he takes action. A massive W for Florida Ron DeSantis, and another massive L for the radical, social, Marxist, revolutionary left. Take the L, leftoids. It's another one to add to the list. And look, final disclaimer, this video isn't to promote Ron DeSantis as a replacement. I'm not endorsing anyone over any other candidate. I mean, Ron DeSantis, to my understanding, still hasn't even declared that he's running. So calm down if you're feeding into all the infighting. I have no interest. Ron DeSantis remains the based governor of the state of Florida. He continues to take on on the radical left, like frickin' Neo from the Matrix, dodging everything they shoot at him, and coming back with sick combos. Gotta give credit where credit is due, and Ron DeSantis just continues to be that guy. Good on him, good on Florida's government, and it's nice to see all these W's stacking up in the cultural sphere. And to Mr. Ben Montgomery from Axios, good riddance. I heard BuzzFeed was hiring. Oh wait, I think they're going bankrupt actually. That's what I got for you guys. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel. Of course, you know we'd love to have you here, especially as things start to get real exciting. We're around 10 months away from presidential primary season. It's gonna get real exciting with Donald Trump on that stage. It's gonna be glorious watching Mike Pence and Nick Haley be pushed further and further away from Donald Trump as their polling numbers drop, just like Jeb Bush from back in 2016. So of course I'll keep you guys updated on all of it, and who knows if Ron DeSantis runs, we'll have to see. May the better man win. Thanks for watching, folks, and I'll see you on the next one.